Hey everybody, and welcome to another fly tying episode from holsingersflyshop.com. Today I'm bringing you a streamer pattern. This is one that I've been messing around with a little bit. I saw a variation of this online once and just tried to mess around with what material I had to figure out how I could tie it and how I'd like it, and this is what I come up with. So I call this the Rosy Red streamer after the little Rosy Red Minnows that you can buy, and having a little bit of success with it. I like it. It goes through the water real nice, has a lot of movement. I'm going to streamer fish this, cast it down and across, and strip it every now and then, dead drift it. Just mess around, find out what works for you. So I'm going to put a little bit of weight on this. You don't have to do that if you don't want to. This is just the way that I've been tying it. And that way I don't have to put as much weight on my, split shot or whatever. A lot of times when I'm streamer fishing, I'm adding a little bit of weight, like split shots and stuff. So just because I'm a Euro guy doesn't mean I don't have split shot in there. I'm not a competition guy, so if I'm out fishing and I want to throw streamers, I'm going to throw some split shot on, make a cast with my Euro line, with my Euro rig, and I have no problem doing that. So anyways, guys, here's a really cool pattern. I hope you guys like it. And here you're going to see it in the vise and then the material list to tie it. Okay guys, here you see the Rosy Red in the vise. Really cool looking little streamer. Let's get into tying it. For a hook, we're using a Firehole 839 in a size 10. And there we go. Using a Conehead on this. The Conehead I'm using is a Tungsten Conehead, size small. And then I'm going to put about 10 or 12 wraps of lead on here. And partially this is to hold that Conehead in place. So pop that thread off there, pop the lead off at the back, and that's going to push up in that cone and hold it in place here when I get the thread to lock it in. So for thread, I'm using some shell pink, actually fluorescent shell pink 140 Denier, and I'm just going to wrap that on there and cover up this lead, cover up the hook shank a little bit. Alright, next thing we're going to go to is some strung Marabou, and the color I'm using is amber. There we go. Get one out. Now, the whole feather is going to be a little bit much, so what I like to do is I like to take the tips off. I like to cut about half of a piece of Marabou out. And I'm just going to take and pinch them in my fingers, bunch them all together. And I want this to be the length of the hook shank. So when I get it where I want it, I'm going to set it on top, transfer my fingers, and then wrap it on the top of the hook here. I'm going to wrap it right back to the bend, not going around it. Then we're just going to trim that off right behind the lead, and that'll help blend everything, making this blend it right into that lead and smoothing it out nice and level. Okay, so there we got a nice tail on there. Now I'm going to add just a little bit of flash. This is some Chartreuse, just 2 strands of Krystal flash, and I'm going to put it down the one side and wrap it on the side there. Whoops. Wrapped it over. So there we go. So get that back to where it needed to be, going down the side, and then I'm going to take the other 2 strands and pull it over and wrap it down the other side, and then I'm just going to wrap it right back to that tail. Okay, once I get it to the tail, I'm just going to trim it off to length, and that's our tail on this. So this is a pretty simple fly. The next thing I'm going to use is some ice dub shrimp pink, and you guys seen me make dubbing loops before. And so I'm just going to stretch my thread out, and I'm going to make a dubbing loop here. Alright, I'm going to zoom out here so you can see me make my dubbing loop. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my dubbing loop tool. I like to use this one. This is a Swiss CDC. If you guys are interested in them, we can order you one. We don't carry them at the shop, but they're really, really cool and work really well. And so I'm going to put my thread on, put it through my tool here, and then wrap the thread back to the back to make a nice loop. And then bring it forward. And if you're listening to this right now, there's a big thunderstorm happening at my house. So then I'm going to take my tool. What you do is you put it through the 2 holes in the side, and then you come up to the top and you wrap it around the little fingers, and that holds it in place. So then I can take my finger in the loop here, spread that loop out. It works really great. So once I get my loop done there, I'm just going to take this loop and I'm going to fill it up with some shrimp pink UV ice dubbing. And I'm just going to spread it out here. You can see it in there. I spread it out in there nice. Get it nice and even. And then I'm going to bring it right up to my fly. And then I'm going to take my finger. I'm going to put my finger right behind all my dubbing mixture. Take my dubbing spinner, spin it. And this was the cool part. This thing just spins like crazy. And then I'll take a brush. Just take one of my brushes with Velcro and brush this out and tease it all out. Make it nice and buggy looking. Once I get that, then I'm going to take, and for me, I'm going to use my rotary vise. It makes it easier to use with my rotary vise. So I'm just going to wrap, making nice side-by-side wraps on here. And go right up in behind that bead. Okay, now I'm going to switch to a close-up view. Okay, now here we are right up behind that bead. I'm going to take and just tie this off. I'm going to give about 3 or 4 wraps here. That'll secure that in place. Alright. I just want to make sure I get that good. Mess with my bead a little bit, and then I'm going to take my dubbing brush and kind of tease this out a little bit more. And what I'm going to do is kind of tease it up and down. So I want it on both sides, the top and bottom of the fly. Because the next thing I'm going to do is kind of separate this and make it more of a streamlined fly. To do that, I'm going to use some Mirage tinsel. This is Opal in the large color. I'm going to cut a piece off of it, and I'm going to put a piece down each side. So I'm going to start on the side closest to me. It'll go around to your side here in 1 second. But I'm just going to pinch it against the body. Then I'm going to cut this off. And now on your side, you see that has that natural curve to it. I'm going to go curve side in because that's going to come in handy here in a second. So I'm going to go curve side in, hold it against the body, wrap it into place, get a couple nice wraps there. And I want it going straight down the side. Okay, and then I'm just going to whip finish this off. Now I can tweak these around here in just 1 second once I get this whip finished. Okay, so now we're going to cut this one to length, and I want to go about halfway through that tail. Oops. And I'm going to trim this other tag off of it. Okay, the last thing I want to do is I want to put these down the side. So how I'm going to do that is I'm going to take a little bit of, this is Thin-Hard from Solarez, and I'm going to place it on this back side. Just going to make a nice thin trail of it there, and I'm going to pull that right down along the edge of the hook. Kind of rub it into the stuff, and that's going to glue it into place. So that's going to make that nice and tight there, you can see. And it goes right down the shaft of the hook. And then I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. So just come in here with some glue. You can do this with super glue if you want. For me, this UV glue just works really quick, and I don't have to worry about it. So I'm going to go right down the hook shank again. Turn it up here. Hold it right down the hook shank. Hit it with the light, glue it into place. And the last thing I like to do is I like to add just a little bit extra color. And I'll take a little pink marker and just hit it on the hook shank. So just give it just a little bit extra flash to it. And there you see the rosy red streamer. So pretty easy to tie. Like I said, brush it out a little bit. And pretty easy to tie, and there you go. Hey guys, I hope you like that pattern. Really fun one to tie for me. I enjoy tying streamers, and it was fun experimenting with this fly and then catching fish on something that I experimented with. You can even change the color on this. I would not hesitate at all to tie this in white. It would work great in white. And take a marker to even to the ice dubbing. You can color that ice dubbing up. If you tie it in white, put a green back over it or something for an emerald shiner if you want. Mess around and have fun. Experiment on your own. That's what fly tying is all about. You know, messing around, having fun, and learning to catch fish on flies that you tied. So anyhow guys, if you need any of these flies or any of the materials to find it, you can find it like always at holsingersflyshop.com. And if you haven't already, you know, give us a thumbs up for this video, subscribe to our channel, and until next week guys, check out our website, check out our Facebook and Instagram too. You can find me on Facebook at holsingersflyshop.com or Sean Holsinger, and on Instagram as Sean Holsinger. So check me out at those places, you know, give me a follow there, and until next week when I bring you another video, I'm Sean Holsinger.